Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling something pretty much all of us do. We are breaking the cycle and diving deep into the psychology of overthinking. Millions of people spend a massive chunk of their lives locked inside their own minds, just agonizing over every single choice, every word, every possible mistake. So let's figure out exactly how we can break out of that mental prison together.
Okay, picture this. It's late, you're lying awake in bed, the house is completely quiet, but your mind is incredibly loud. You find yourself replaying this totally simple, mundane interaction from hours ago, and suddenly you're thinking, wait, did I say something wrong? Like maybe you replied, you too, when the waiter told you to enjoy your meal, and now at 2 a.m., you're literally agonizing over it. And bam. That one little thought immediately spirals into a dozen other scenarios. The questions just start hitting you rapid fire. What if I made a bad impression? Are they upset with me? Is everyone secretly judging me? Right? Before you even realize what's happening, you're entirely trapped inside a storm of your own thoughts. Look, if this late-night mental marathon sounds familiar, you are absolutely not alone. But to stop it, we need to understand what we're actually dealing with here.
So, what's really going on? Well, overthinking isn't just thinking hard or being extra thorough. Psychologists actually define it as a very specific cycle of repetitive analysis that, frankly, paralyzes you. Instead of leading to an actual solution, it just keeps you completely stuck in one place. It's a habit that goes way, way beyond anything practically useful. Think of it like standing at a crossroads. A healthy thinker examines the options, picks a path, and just moves forward. But an overthinker, they get hit with major analysis paralysis. They'll stand frozen at that crossroads for hours, wondering if they should go left, right, backward, or maybe just wait. The mind becomes so insanely busy, searching for the one perfect, flawless answer, that it entirely prevents any action from taking place at all. Now, there is a massive misconception out there about this. People often assume overthinkers are just these highly intelligent people who naturally process more data. But the reality? Overthinking is fundamentally driven by fear. Fear of failure, fear of making mistakes, and most importantly, a deep, deep fear of uncertainty. Your brain basically perceives uncertainty as a direct threat. So it goes into absolute overdrive searching for guarantees that, well, they just don't exist in the real world. And this exhausting habit, it often traces way back to childhood. Say a child grows up in a really strict environment where mistakes are heavily criticized or things are just emotionally unpredictable. To survive that, they learn to analyze everything perfectly just to avoid trouble. Fast forward to adulthood, and what was once a survival strategy is now a permanent habit. Your brain is relentlessly scanning the horizon for threats, even when you're sitting perfectly safe in your living room. Psychologists actually split this mental trap into two distinct camps. First, you've got rumination. This is when your brain is totally stuck in the past. You're replaying old mistakes, literally cringing at some awkward moment from 5 years ago, wishing you could somehow change the unchangeable. On the flip side is worry, which is all about the future. This is your brain busy inventing and preparing for disastrous, worst-case scenarios that almost never actually happen. And the worst part? Both of them completely steal your present moment. You know what's wild about this? Because of all this heavy internal processing, overthinkers are usually so misunderstood. They might be sitting quietly at a dinner party, looking totally chill and relaxed on the outside. But inside, it is a raging storm. They're simultaneously running hundreds of exhausting mental calculations. Every facial expression is examined. Every slight pause is interpreted. Their brain literally never gets to clock out. But here's the thing, overthinking isn't just some quirky personality trait or a mild annoyance. It carries real, heavy physical costs. See, your brain can't always distinguish between a real physical threat and a totally imagined mental one. When you obsess over a problem, your body reacts as if a tiger just walked into the room. Your heart rate spikes, stress hormones flood your system, your sleep gets ruined, and your overall happiness just takes a nosedive. So why do our bodies do this to us? Well, it's basically a glitch in our evolutionary software. Thousands of years ago, overthinking a rustling bush literally kept you from being eaten. That was great. But today, your brain is using that exact same ancient survival code to catastrophize a delayed text message into a life or death crisis. It's treating minor social hiccups like fatal threats. And man, because your brain absolutely hates this uncertainty, it can really sabotage your relationships. Think about it. When your partner gives a short answer or a friend's tone shifts even slightly, there's a gap in information. Your brain desperately rushes to fill that gap, and unfortunately, it almost always fills it with completely inaccurate, super negative assumptions. So many relationships break down not because of what actually happened, but because of the fictional stories invented entirely inside someone's head. Then there's the perfectionism trap. Oh, this is a big one for overthinkers. It's this impossible belief that every single decision has to be flawless and every outcome has to be a total success. But since perfection is literally mathematically impossible in the real world, this just leads straight to procrastination. You never start. You just keep planning and preparing. Ironically, by being so terrified of failing, you practically guarantee failure because you never actually take action. But here is the absolute sneakiest part. Overthinking lies to you. It feels incredibly productive. Your brain tricks you into thinking that more worrying equals more control. But let's look at the math here, because it doesn't lie. You can spend 10 exhausting hours worrying about a problem and get absolutely zero progress. Compare that to spending just 10 minutes creating a simple plan. Those 10 minutes actually move you forward. Thinking is just not the same thing as solving. So, the big question, how do we fix this? Well, to break this exhausting cycle, you've got to build self-awareness first. You can't change a habit if you don't even realize you're doing it, right? The next time you feel your mind spinning out, I want you to pause, take a breath, and ask yourself this one vital question. Am I solving a problem right now, or am I simply replaying it? Just asking that creates instant, objective distance between you and your racing thoughts. Once you catch yourself in that loop, you've got to move immediately to action. Action is the ultimate antidote to mental paralysis. Literally, getting up, moving around, or just making a tiny low-stakes choice shatters that cycle. Actually, all those perfect answers you're searching for in your head, most of the time, they can only be found out there in the real world through actual physical experience. To truly get past this, you have to fundamentally reframe your expectations. Here's a tough pill to swallow. Life is just inherently uncertain. The future is uncertain. People are uncertain. If your goal is to eliminate all risk and guarantee every outcome, you are going to be miserable for the rest of your life. True peace, that comes from learning to tolerate uncertainty rather than demanding impossible guarantees from the universe. This is exactly where mindfulness comes in. And I know it sounds cliche, but it pulls you forcefully back into present reality. Just listen to the sound of your own breathing for a second. Feel your feet on the floor. Doing this physically anchors you, and it reminds your racing brain of a really crucial truth. Your thoughts are just passing mental events. They are not objective facts. Ultimately, you've got to accept what highly successful people have known all along. Perfect decisions are a complete myth. Most decisions only turn out to be the right one because a person fully committed to it and adapted along the way. Think about it. You can't steer a parked car. Overthinking creates thousands of beautifully complex imaginary paths in your head, but real, tangible progress only starts when you pick just one of them and start walking. I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to take into your day. Your thoughts are powerful, and having a sharp mind is a beautiful gift, but it shouldn't be a prison. I want you to ask yourself right now, what beautiful, spontaneous, real-world experiences are you missing out on because you're trapped in the endless analytical maze of your own mind? Stop searching for perfect certainty. Trust yourself and just take the next step.